What would you do if you left for a work trip and then you came back and your partner had converted your guest bedroom into a podcast studio? That's exactly what I did. And I'll say he's a really good sport about it. Well, spoiler alert, I'm launching a podcast. Actually, I'm launching two podcasts, but I'm not really ready to talk about the second one yet. But it's going to be huge. And I'm going to be co hosting it with a true powerhouse in the industry, but more on that later. So, the first podcast that I'm launching is called Access by Design. And this is going to be a combination of in person interviews, virtual interviews, and also sometimes just me talking to you or to you or to all of you. And so, why did I build a podcast studio in my guest bedroom? Interestingly enough, I actually have a professional podcast studio walking distance from where I live. And I considered making that the home of the podcast. But then I realized that if I'm going to have a podcast called Access by Design, I need to make it accessible to myself. As someone who lives with neurodiversity, I really needed to have a controlled environment and what it felt like a safe space for me. And I also really needed the flexibility. I didn't want to have to worry about constantly having to schedule studio space and stick to that schedule. I wanted that flexibility that if I had something to say, I had the ability to flip on the camera and record. Now, there are some aspects of having a podcast studio in your home that are a little bit less practical, like having guests. I might not always want to have a guest in my house. So, in that case, I may use the professional podcast studio down the road. Or, for example, I might have a guest who is halfway across the country or perhaps even on the other side of the globe. And in that case, I may come to you from this studio and then have the guest connect with me through another professional studio where we recommend that they record from. So that way we're able to bring you super high quality content, high quality audio, as I have some fancy new mics here, as well as high quality video. I'm excited to bring this podcast to life, Access by Design, and another really cool one coming soon as well. What would you do if you left for a work trip and you came back to your guest bedroom converted to a podcast studio?